G'day folks, and welcome to the New Falconer Records channel. Now, I recently did a video where I reviewed a guitar pedal called the Pigtone English Man Distortion, and I described it as a Marshall stack-in-a-box for very little money. And I also said that I'd try it in a full mix situation, because it's one thing to do a demo in your bedroom playing a few power chords and running through a few random pentatonic licks, but it's another thing to put it through its paces and actually try it in a full band mix. Now, the immediate vibe I got from the Englishman was a very much 70s hard rock, pub rock, blues rock sort of vibe. Very, very meat and potatoes kind of sound, very Marshall-esque. And as it turns out, I have the perfect song to use that pedal on, and it's very much a case of here's one I prepared earlier. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the bass and the drum files from the original recording and bring them into a new session and layer guitars over the top of them using exclusively the Pigtone English Man Distortion. Now, if you heard that little snippet at the very beginning of this video, that is actually a little sneak preview to the full mix. Well, this song is the perfect candidate to try this little pedal on. Very simple setup. I'm just plugging into the clean channel of the amplifier, and that's it. Only using the Pigtone English Man for any overdrive sounds. I'm going to use a bit of delay. So we'll get straight to it. I'm going to lay down the basic opening chord progression using a Fender Stratocaster with the bridge pickup activated. So as you can see, I'm not using that much drive. So all I want is just a sort of raw, slightly overdriven, nasty, but still a bit chimey Strat sound. So we'll just play the opening chords. So that's this pedal in a nutshell. It's that classic rock sound. All right, now I like the sound of that, but as I did on the original recording, I'm going to double track that, play exactly the same thing again, and I'm going to hard pan it stereo-wise, and I'm going to bring in the drums. So Scott is playing the drums here. In fact, it's double tracked. We double tracked the drums on this one. So here we go. Yeah, so that double tracking just widens the whole song up, makes it sound a lot bigger. So for the next part, it's going to be the Strat again, but this time on the neck pickup, and I'm going to be using some delay, and I'm using the Nu-X Tape Core. Some people call them Nu-X, but I call them Nu-X, which is the proper way to say it. I love this pedal. It's a tape-style delay. It's based on the Roland Space Echo, and the decay or the deterioration of each delay just has this warm tape sound to it. I'll probably even do a review of this down the track because I like it so much. So this is a droney kind of lead figure that's a bit spacey and just comes in and out of the song. Yeah, it's just a bit of a warmer sound on the neck pickup. So here's this sort of lead part. Yeah, one thing I didn't mention last time when I reviewed the pedal, it can be quite noisy, this Englishman, when you really start to crank up that drive, and particularly with single coil pickups. It's actually a very noisy pedal. That's one of the downsides of it, but that's par for the course what do you expect for a $55 pedal. Okay, now I've done that bit, and of course what I'm going to do, just as I did before, I'm going to double track that part and pan it. We'll have a listen to how that sounds. Yeah, I love that tape delay effect. It's very different than a digital delay. Okay, now I'll play that part in with the rest of the mix, and now we're going to bring in Stephen on the bass. So the song's starting to take shape already. Okay, I'm liking how that's sounding, but I want more. Like Oliver Twist, I want more. So I just think the guitars need a bit more grunt once it gets going. So I'm now going to double the main rhythm part on the Strat with this Epiphone Gibson. Looks a bit like a Les Paul Jr. This is just a beast of a guitar. It just has super hot pickups. It's a nightmare of a thing. I've had it set up and you need to play really soft hands with it because if you sort of grip it too tightly, the intonation goes out. So even if you're really careful and you double track or something, intonation can go in and out with it, but it's just super hot sound. And you can see I'm not using a massive amount of drive on this, but it's just going to be such a big sound. Also, remember in the last video I showed you how this pedal for some reason feeds back with harmonic distortion at quite a low level. I am cranked up a bit this time around, but I'm going to utilize some of that feedback just to give some vibe to the recording. So this is the Epiphone bridge pickup, away we go. So you can probably hear even there was a little bit of intonation sort of sounding a bit dodgy at the start and then sort of writing itself. Yeah, it's just a funny guitar. Well, guess what I'm going to do? Yeah, that's right, I'm going to double track it. So this is the double Epiphones. So yeah, it's starting to sound pretty fat there. I'm going to jump ahead. I actually recorded another two. So there's two in each speaker. So it's actually a quadruple track Epiphone part. And you can hear how it fattens up the sound and really makes this track sound epic. Here we go. Well, the Englishman is certainly coming to the table and getting the job done. It's really starting to sound quite massive. Now, one thing about this song, though, it sort of only has 4 chords, and the chords in the verse and in the chorus are exactly the same, so it can be pretty tedious if you're not careful. So I've come up with an extra part, some different chord inversions up the neck just to open the song up sonically. And for this, I'm going to use the Artist GM1, which has got that lame name of the grunge master. It's sort of, this Kurt Cobain. I happen to be left-handed, so it's appropriate. Sort of Jaguar Jazzmaster type thing with the P90 style pickups, but it's a great little guitar. I really, really like it. And one setting I didn't utilize at all in the last video is actually the best one. The 2 pickups activated at the same time. So we're about 9 o'clock there on the drive, which is not much drive, but it's just a little bit more texture, just to add some more color to the song and a different sort of energy. And naturally I double track that, and what I'll do is play the double tracking of it in the mix. But what I'll also do is pull that guitar out and put it back in so you can hear what the track sounds like with it in and with it not in. You can sort of hear what it does add to the song. As you could probably hear there, that guitar part gives more openness to the whole song and a different sort of energy. Now, while I was mucking around with the Artist guitar, I was noticing I really liked the feedback tones it was getting when I was just sitting there. You'd sit there with the open strings, it would start feeding back. So I've actually done a whole track where I just let that guitar feed back. And what I'm going to do later is fade in and out some feedback tastefully into the track just to add some vibe and a bit of live sort of feel to it. It's a fun thing to do. Well, that's all the rhythm guitar parts done, including a little bit of feedback as well. So it's time for the all-important guitar solo, a thing you don't really hear that much anymore in non-metal music, but anyway. So for this, I'm going to turn to my other artist guitar, and this is the LP59csb, which is the Les Paul style guitar. Bridge pickup activated, and yeah, a fair bit of drive on this one, of course. Need to sort of get it screaming at you a bit. So what I'm going to play is a mix with just the original rhythm guitars, just so you can get a feel of the solo. So this is the very end of the solo, and I engaged the tape core pedal again to just bring in some spaciness. I'm wanting more. Just that last bit with the delay, I'm going to double it with an octave lower, play exactly the same thing, only an octave lower. And then at the very end, the last sort of flourish, I'm going to actually add a fifth. So a third guitar, lead guitar doing sort of fifth part. So I'm going to get all Brian May, Iron Maiden on your ass. Here we go. Well, that was heaps of fun. Absolutely heaps of fun doing that. This Pigtone English Man Distortion, I think, is very much proven itself. You know, for $55 Australian, as I said, 30 quid UK, US prices, this would be probably a $30 pedal tops. The question is, would I consider using this in a quote-unquote proper recording? The answer is hell yes. Absolutely, this is now a part of my arsenal. If I want that wall of Marshall sound on tap, you know, just without even thinking about it, this is a go-to pedal. So much fun. So now you're going to hear the finished product if you stayed with me this long. What I've done, I've made a mix of the track. I've brought in the vocals just in the choruses to give some context. Because this is a demo, guitar demo video, you want to really hear the guitars, but I've kept the choruses in, A, because they're pretty catchy, yeah, just to break it up a bit. It's a 4-chord song, it'd be pretty tedious otherwise. So yeah, I'll leave you with Eternal Weekend with all overdrive guitars done on a Pigtone English Man Distortion unit. the time. If you think you're up for it, I got the time. You say you're finding yourself a part of Lucid. Then why not join me in my eternal weekend?